One day I'm gonna get that timer just right. I'm gonna get it right. Hey, this is the magic. Hey, that's fire right there. Don't burn yourself coming in on a show, my virtual show, folks. Slide up against the wall and itch on in because that could hurt. Fire burn, and I ain't got no insurance for none of that. None of it. What a good people. I'm so glad you could join me today. What's up? And welcome to the Madjef Music Show. I'm excited you could be here. I'm your host. Yo, don't act surprised I'm here. It's my show, damn it. It's my show. Anyway, I'm excited you could be here today. It is Tuesday, and I have an exciting guest on the show today. None other than, you'll know this guy when you see him. If you hear him, you absolutely know who he is. It's the one and only Michael Bland. He is, well, I tell you, this cat right here, I got a little theme song for him right here. Oh, because he's so smooth. Hard, heavy hitting, bro. This cat right here can hit him. Mike is one of the best drummers on the planet, and anybody that puts a list together of top drummers anywhere, Rolling Stone, anybody, Drummer Magazine, that don't include this brother right here has completely lost touch with reality. They don't understand what's really happening in the world. You feel me? Anyway, Michael is going to be my guest today. Welcome to the show, man. I'm so excited that you can be here. Michael is here right now. He's in my green room. Now, yeah, that's right. He's played with Prince. He's traveled all over the world banging on them drums, and he's in the green room right now waiting to talk to you a little bit and kick it with y'all a little bit. Before we get into that, though, we're going to get into our little news tidbit. I like to drop a little news bit on everybody right now. I'm going to show you something real quick. Take a look at this. What is this? That, people, that right there is the bag. Wait, maybe that doesn't bring it home to you. Wait a minute. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the bag. And who's getting the bag, you ask? I say, my God, this man just got the bag. This ain't even a sports show, but this man just signed a deal for $240 million, of which $126 million is guaranteed money. When he signed the contract, it's guaranteed they're gonna give him $126 million. Now look, he just had a really terrible accident last year where he fractured that leg really bad, so they must have either converted him completely over to a robot species or something, or he just has healing powers that have convinced them that he's their man for the future, regardless of whatever type of injury he suffers. Anyway, that's my little news bit, my little news gag there. Dak Prescott for the Cowboys is getting a bag. Maybe that'll turn their season around. I don't know. Maybe they got some coins left over where they can get a few people to block for the brother, because last year was somewhat dismal. I'm not a Cowboys fan. Obviously, I'm not a Cowboys fan. Anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about this guy right here, because when I say he's a heavy hitter, I'm going to prove to you what I'm talking about. Let me play a little clip for you real quick. Let me see if I can get this to run for you right here. I got so many mouses. I need traps. Dig this. This is the guy, right? But check this out. This is what you don't see when he's in there working. Check this out. Dig this guy. Watch this. Oh my God. Head with that. Don't surrender. He does this on big ass records that blasting all over the radio. This is the guy. Look. Only because I don't want to get sued. Listen, look, I'm gonna go back. They're gonna be mad at me, but watch this break right here. This brother actually takes a break. He takes a drink. He has a snack in the middle of the break. Most people will be freaked out. Watch it, look. He's like, look at me. I think about it, what? I know where I'm going for dinner. Hell yeah, I do. What? I like the song. This ain't bad. Watch this. Don't surrender. Oh my goodness. Look, come on. Stop me. Because I will go on with praise. Because listen, the brother is really that good. Let me stop this. Hold on. Trying to get me arrested. Shh. Crickets. I don't have a cricket sound effect. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, can I just say this about the brother? I said it. Now I'm gonna bring him in, because he's in my green room. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, this is Michael. This is Michael Bland. Why do you know this cat? Why do you know Michael Bland? Well, for one thing, drummer for NPG, New Power Generation, right? Prince, all over the world, right? That's not it, though. That's just some of it. He's also a drummer for Soul Asylum, which is one of the hottest alt-rock groups, ever to emerge on the scene. In addition to that, this kid has played with everybody from, Vernon Reid and Sonny Thompson to Nick Jonas and Chaka Khan, and he's toured with so many acts. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Michael, welcome to the show. You are live. Where am I on?
Okay, I didn't know.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no, thank you. That's
Michael. Michael said, am I on? And he don't hear a click track. He don't hear a click track to get him ready for the. He just like, look, man, whose show is this?
I'm supposed to sit here quiet until I'm giving the cue.
Ain't no click track in the headphones. What's wrong with y'all?
Yeah.
Man, how you like that intro? How you like that intro?
That was pretty hot, Jeff. I forgot all about that track.
Don't forget that.
Eons ago. That was a pretty good day, a swinging lumber.
You banged that out, man. I mean, in all honesty, you banged that out. How long have you been playing the drums, Michael? Tell our audience that.
Oh, wow. I started when I was about 9 years old. I immediately took a shine to the instrument. My father found a used set and brought it home, and he gave me about a week to experiment with things, and then he said, you're going to need to take formal lessons if you want to keep them. So I started taking lessons downtown with a gentleman named Floyd Thompson, who owned Thompson's Drum Shop down on 10th and Nicollet or so, downtown Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. And I studied with him until I was about 16 or 17. But I was also involved in wind ensemble at South High School with Denny Malmberg, who was our director. He was the conductor. He was I had a lot of support, right from the get-go. I mean, like a lot of black musicians, I started in the church. My dad was playing piano and Hammond, and I was backing him up. So we started at like the Baptist church and ended up at the Kojic church, where at that time, they were still a little on the fence about having like a drum set in church. It's just the late 70s, really. So, they were like, there was some consternation about, well, we don't know about all that banging, all that bankety bump going on during the service. And they, told my father that, and he was, like the director of the choir. And he was like, okay, well, you don't want my son here playing, then you must not want me here playing. And we moved from Rock of Ages Missionary Baptist Church down the street from Taggart Jack up over to First Trinity Church of God in Christ with Reverend Henry Brown and Kim Brown, who also sings with the Sounds of Blackness. Mm-hmm. So that's where we were at.
See, I can see why the church would have a problem with you, because I've heard you kick. I've heard you hit that kick and that snare with such a consistent frequency and volume. Consistent. I mean, I remember once being at Glam Slam or one of those places that was out Paisley, and you guys were doing a live show and you were on the drums, and I remember going over to the engineer and just trying to see what he was doing on your channel, because it was so big and consistent, and I realized that was the player. There was no tricks happening. This guy was hitting them like that. So that's my first impression.
I didn't know that was such an extraordinary thing until people started telling me. I mean, also with playing with Prince, there was a lot of playing the loops and, I had kill switches and, pads doing things and whatnot. So, when you try to enter that electronic environment, it gets you in a real headspace for playing consistent. You start to notice when your tone is off or different, Mm-hmm. So I guess that's where it started really for me, is when I had to really play along with the Elisa's drum machine, or with the loops that we'd harvest the samples and the loops off the 2-inch tape, and then I'd have to figure out how to play along with that, and it's I guess it just taught me to give the notes the same value all the time. Like mix yourself,
Right.
like put it where you'd want to hear it. You know.
Right. And you, speaking of tone and pitch, there was rumored that as a drummer, you had perfect pitch. That was one of the rumors we used to always hear from Paisley or the Flight Time was like, yeah, that drummer has perfect pitch. He actually tunes his drums. Because as a drum programmer, that's something that we always did on the MPC. Is that true about you?
It is true, but not in that context. It's I have perfect pitch. Like it's completely useless to me in drumming. It's only useful in interacting with the other musicians about what notes they're playing. Like Sonny Thompson also has perfect pitch. Like we could talk about, you know, the changes that we want to hear without either of us playing anything. It's more like I know the tones of the scale like a lot of people know colors. I actually have I'm not colorblind, but I do have a deficiency.
Interesting.
So if somebody plays a note on the piano, I don't have to even be turned their direction. I can tell you what note they're playing. I can tell you what notes are in the chord. It's that sort of thing, which is nerve-wracking for a lot of people, you know, who don't have it because you're constantly correcting them.
And it's extraordinary for a drummer to have that, you know.
Yeah, I'm like, why God? Why me? You know, but I play a little bass, I play some keys, and you know, I mean, I've been many a night. I rescued many a bass player on the bandstand sitting in and tell him A flat, C sharp.
Well, let me
F
show you.
sharp.
Let me show you a picture of one guy you ain't having to correct that much. And that's
No,
Sonny.
he never
God,
needed to.
Lord, man, so good.
Neither
right?
of them dudes, yeah.
Either one of them
knew what
guys
they were
right
doing.
there, and they're all from the same school, the same woodshed, basically. True.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sonny and Prince grew up together. Sonny said he was on the MTC, headed somewhere, and Prince got on the bus. He had a guitar case, and Sonny had a guitar case, and so Prince kind of sat next to Sonny, and that's where their friendship started. It was like, oh hey, you play guitar? Yeah, man. I see you play too. What do you got? And from then they were just, you know, thick as thieves, you know, and then Andre and Sonny and everybody, you know, I heard about Sonny like 10 years before I got to even meet him. It seemed like, you know, well, I guess not quite that many. It was more like 5 or 6. Like somebody brought his name up down at Dr. Mambo's Combo, and David Island was like, Sonny Thompson, man, Sonny Thompson's a bad, you know.
Right. Yes.
Like, man, he was better when we were kids than you know, than most of us are as adults.
Right.
And you know, and then one night Sonny walked in and sat in, and it was just like we kept looking at each other like, what is this sound we're making together? You know, it was we knew something happened when we played together. And Prince caught on to it because he never mentioned that we were both ever going to be in the band together. You know, until Sonny just showed up. You know.
I was fortunate enough as a young, inexperienced producer to hire Sonny on a couple records, and Sonny, I'm gonna tell you what he brought to the project for me was a sense of carefree. You know, I didn't have to worry about a thing. If I told him I had a bass player scheduled, I didn't have to worry about whether the bass part was going to be good enough. It wasn't a question of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Sonny was going to kill it. He's so musical on that instrument. It's not even funny. While being in the pocket, while being solid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sonny's everything. I tell everybody, anybody who stands still long enough to listen, Sonny Thompson is everything, man. He's and on top of all that, like there's so much joy in his playing. Like he evokes joyfulness when he's playing. Like you can tell he enjoys what he's doing, and his energy is infectious, and much like myself, he's looking for a specific thing. There's the intent behind what he plays is so specific.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, we make a good rhythm section because we're both very, I'm like, we're both counting. Yeah, Mike Scott's another one, man. Absolutely. He's right in there chunking with us, man.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Incredible musicians, and that's what this show is about. I mean, these people need to know about you brothers, man, because if they're lovers of music, everybody want to talk about the Minneapolis sound or whatever and hang on to that. It's just so much deeper than that. So many vines and branches within that, with guys like Mike Scott and yourself, and like you say, you mentioned a little bit earlier, David Island, a name I haven't heard in forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Cynthia Johnson sang with
Yeah.
Dr. Mambo's combo too. I mean, it's I'm not sure what sets this community apart from any other. And I guess I've never really lived anywhere else long enough to understand the network of like, but why in Minneapolis is there so much music? There's so much cultivation of the art, you know, and I don't know if it has something to do with the Mississippi or, you know, like where people travel to, what causes people to move here from St. Louis or Detroit or Chicago. But, you know, I mean, a big part of it in the mid 80s, I know, was like the success of Purple Rain.
Right.
I met all sorts of brothers from Iowa and, you know, Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, coming up here because they saw, you know, that movie.
Saw that
It was like,
movie.
I got to get up to that's what they doing in
Oh, yeah.
Minneapolis? I got to get me a Jerry curl and a flashy suit. You know?
Right. I gotta get me some spandex.
Kind of.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was telling another guy, another friend of yours who I know you recognize in a second. You'll recognize this guy. This is a good buddy of yours.
Oh, absolutely. Morris Hayes. He's forever in my heart.
Mr. Hayes.
Mr. Hayes is one stellar human being.
I agree, man. He's always been, his energy is so important and positive, man, that he's been going through some stuff, and I had him on the show, and I really want to uplift that young brother. And I saw him live yesterday. I jumped on his live and gave him a power fist, you know what I mean? So, because I saw he's starting to get back a little bit and do his thing, so that's important.
Good, yeah. I mean, it's, you grow up and just, you have to face so many, as your life unfolds, it's like, it's just, we all go through it, and it's you know, my heart goes out to Morris because, you know, it's the cycle of life. It's just you're here for a while, and then you watch people, you know, leave before you, and you know, and there's all sorts of ways you can feel about it. You know, it's funny because I never really got it, and not to make light of the moment, but I started watching. I think it's a show called Planet Earth that comes in on like the BBC channel on cable. And you start looking at how nature operates in and of itself, Jeff. And, you know, a lot of things that, you know, the average human being wouldn't do to another person, it happens all the time in the wild. You know, just predators and prey. And, you know, I think it was it an octopus? Well, there's some extraordinary things that I've seen. The extraordinary gestures of how do I explain exactly? Like
Survival of
yeah, survival. Not only survival, but sacrifice also.
Sacrifice, sure.
You know, I mean, like for instance, the baby penguins. The mom rolls, hey, you're on your own, go get it, you know. And one of the first things they got to do is get in the water and, you know, and search for food. And sometimes, you know, there's, you know, sharks or whales or anything waiting in the water for them, and it just, you're looking at the poor little penguin, what they gonna do? And you know, and some of them, a big fish will come up and shake them. To, you know, like move them around, try to tear the meat off their bones, and you just looking like, how
well, how'd you fall out of line?
Yeah, what did you do in a past life, penguin? You shouldn't have deserved that treatment. And the other ones take their chance while he's getting eaten to get further out into the water. You know. Meanwhile, like an octopus will, you know, when it's time, once their eggs are fertilized, they go and find a place. And they spend the remainder of their life basically moving the water back and forth over the eggs to make sure that they're oxygenated. And that's how they die. They die completely in service to their offspring. It's and it's so sad, but it's like, wow. You know, and you start thinking about human beings and what certain people, you know, what your mom might have done for you at one time or another, just the sacrifice. And just and then life is...
And then you add racism and stuff like that to it. And I don't even want to open that can with you because I know I've seen some things, your opinions on it, and I know how you feel. And as we all should feel, people of color, you know, we got an issue with a lot of things that go on, and I know you do. But you know,
Yes.
What's your thoughts?
I
on it?
mean,
obviously, this thing with George Floyd happened in your neighborhood. I mean, for crying out loud, you know.
not literally, but I'm close enough.
Yeah,
I could have gone down there and been like, hey, you know, I could have hollered at Derek Chauvin myself.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
but I gotta say, Jeff, that it's not as much an issue. I mean, we're taking the fallout like we always have in this country, but the in my consciousness has reached a point where I really think that this is an issue that white people have to work out amongst themselves. You know, it's it's a machination of white supremacy. It's from the imagination of white people, and it's put together to service white people. Now they're having a hard time figuring out, you know, how are they going to head into the future is what I see, and you know, per usual, is like black people we don't, well, maybe we're getting a seat at the table now. I'm not paying as close attention as I was earlier in the year, or last year, because it just was driving my blood pressure up and making me really hostile towards a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I had to let go of that and just decide that, you know, I'm happy to enlighten anybody who comes up to me with a serious question. But because of the show that I had on Facebook, my Music Politics show, it motivated a lot of white people who were feeling some kind of way about it to get at me, you know, just like the racial, you know, disharmony in this country. Like, you know, a lot of white people are like, well, what can we do? You know, and, you know, it's like, on the one hand, it's like, listen, my people already built this country for free. I'm not going to educate white people also on an issue, you know, for free, on an issue that is a manifestation. Right. Just look around. Yeah. What is there to learn? Just look around. Just pay attention. Just be aware, you know? So I'm on the fence with that, but any serious inquiry, I'm not, anybody coming to me serious asking, I will go through it. I will go through the discourse, but, you know, and I've developed like a list of books that I recommend that they read, because white people, you know, it's been all these years. They never believed us before until Rodney King. They pretty much just thought, oh, those Negroes, all they need to do is just pull up their bootstraps and, you know,
work hard.
work hard. 400 years of slavery.
Hey, so dig this, man. That's heavy, bro. That's real heavy. We're gonna lighten things up. We're gonna lighten things up a little bit. Anyway, man, you are an amazing drummer, man. You're an amazing drummer. Somebody was saying
let's talk about music, Jeff. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna play a little game real quick. I'm gonna show you a couple images. I'm gonna pretend like I'm a doctor. Dr. Madjef. I'm gonna show you a few images. You tell me what comes to mind. Image number 1. Here we go.
Oh, whoa, Art Blakey, yes. One of my earliest, one of the earliest influences on my plan when I was starting to try to get into jazz. My dad had a lot of Art Blakey Jazz Messengers records. Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Cool. So far, bro, you are, you know, that makes perfect sense. See, that makes perfect sense. All right, we're gonna move on to the next picture. Now, this could be controversial. It's up to you. All right, here we go. What do you think, Michael? Female drummers, can they hit it hard or what?
Oh, I've seen some incredible female drummers. Terry Lynn Carrington. I don't know who this is on site.
I think that's just a woman on drums. Huh.
Yeah,
to make a point.
Terry Lynn Carrington. Yeah,
what you feeling? You're feeling female drummers is what you're saying.
I'm feeling anybody who's dedicated to the music, Jeff.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next picture because here we go. Ooh.
Well, yeah.
Hey.
I've been wearing bibs now for about. Every day I'm usually in bibs.
Every time I see you, bro, you in an overall suit. Boy, Prince must have had millions of yards of fabric available out there because y'all had some colorful garbs.
We did, but the bibs thing started for me like after all that, actually.
Yeah, I hear you.
But he had his own wardrobe department out there, so yeah.
Crazy, right? Check this out, last one. What does this make you think of, man? What
Wow,
was that
that makes
time
me
like
think
for
of-
you? I mean, I'm curious. I think a lot of people call. You can't call him by his name during this time period necessarily.
Oh, that time period you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a ruse. I thought it was like a thing he was trying to get away with to get out of his contract with Warner Brothers. But one day I called him Prince, and he ice grilled me. He ice grilled me so hard, Jeff. He said, "Don't call me that.
Ooh.
That's not my name." He said, "When you call me that, it's like you call me a swear word." And we all tightened up. I was like, "Oh, okay, no problem." From that day forward, it was "Hey, brother."
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
that's
man.
right. Anything.
Yeah,
but,
it was.
Hey, boss.
Anything but Prince.
Big man.
Exactly.
What's up, big man?
Uh huh.
Hey, man. So, from Prince to Soul Asylum. So I know you play a lot with those guys, and that's a different kind of a vibe for you. But it shows to me like this the kind of musician you are. You're able to go from one extreme to another. And how do you like playing with those guys? You still get well, obviously because of COVID, you're not, but that is a regular gig for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been with the band now for 16 years, something like that. So it's served me well. And also, Jeff, I ran the gamut. I tried to go out to LA and do my thing and try to fit in and, get in different circles. But it didn't really work out for me. My work ethic is so colloquial. Like we just in Minneapolis, if you got 7 months of winter, you grinding harder than everybody else. You working on, you writing,
Yeah.
you recording, you're getting your chops up, you practicing, you doing whatever. And I just have not found the same kind of work ethic in any other place I've had the opportunity to spend real time.
Right.
And I'm not saying they're not doing what they do. It's just things move fast or they move slow.
Right.
And in Minneapolis, all I ever knew was hard work. I mean, rehearsal has never been a problem for me. I love to rehearse,
Yeah.
even now. I mean, and after working for Prince, it's just something you get used to.
Something
That
you get
was
used to.
sometimes that was 12 hours a day. I mean, not continuous sometimes, but off
Yeah.
and on.
Sure.
We tuning up like a 2.5 hour set to get on the road. It's round the clock, and then on top of that, we're giving little shows, out there at like 3 o'clock in the morning after being in rehearsal all day. You get time to go home and shower and maybe eat something and head right back to Paisley Park to go through it one more time.
That's incredible, and that's one of the common threads that you and I share is that Jam and Lewis were directly related to Prince in that sense of the time, and they brought that same work ethic, and you had that work ethic over there as well. So, and that's to this day. I just get up and work first thing in the morning till the sun goes down, and I don't even think about it. It's just a part of who I am. You know what I mean?
But
And
when you're doing what,
exactly.
yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
that's all right.
But when you're doing what you love, it's that's why I feel so blessed to have been able to do what I've done.
Yeah.
Played with some really iconic cats. And it's music don't work out for everybody like it
Yeah.
worked out for me.
You
I'm ever cognizant of the fact that anybody else could have gotten Bam Bam, John Morgan could have gotten a gig with Prince. There was a lot of cats who had it, and maybe they were shedding harder than me. It was just something about when he and I met that the energy just clicked for him. I was 18, 19 when I met Prince. So
Check this out. I found this little clip on you here. Check this out.
I played piano, I played baritone horn, I played a couple instruments before I ended up here, and I still play other things. I play bass guitar a little bit. But I just kind of ended up here because, I don't know, I guess it was just Providence. God got involved, and I ended up here. I don't know what else to say.
So I found it interesting that you would say, you just it worked out that way for you. I mean, God obviously stepped in there and guided your career and did it based on who you are as a person. Because you're a big fella, but you're also a gentle giant. You're a big bear too, from what I remember.
I'm not going to hurt nobody, man. I'm timid. I'm timid, Jeff. I came out. I'm a church boy at heart. I just wanted to be a good person.
Yeah.
And serve God in whatever
Hitting them
way
drums so
I
hard,
could.
though. You hit them drums so
well,
hard. I see why Prince fell in love, because it was like he just be looking over his shoulder like,
Yeah, he'd give me the look from time to time. Yeah, like, wow, yeah, go ahead,
Killing
yeah,
that.
knock
Yeah,
him out.
Knock him out, boy.
Yeah.
Michael, I've taken up so much of your time. I feel like, tell me about your production company. Don't you have a production company currently?
Yes, we've had it for a while. It's called Sonic Matrimony. It's an LLC, but it's I mean, we get things done. We actually one of the guys that works with me in my company. His name is Ryan Listman. He goes by the name of Ryan, Rion, and we just put together a track in anticipation of the Derek Chauvin trial. So we just dropped it a little bit ago. Like, he shot a video. We got some of the community pillars involved, like from the reggae world. It's a reggae cut. It's called Enough, and who's on it? It's like, do you still live here, Madjef?
No, I'm living down in Florida. I live down in Florida right now.
Okay, you might not know some of these people, but some of your listeners might know about, like, Wayne McFarland from Ipso Facto. He's on the cut.
I remember Wayne.
Carolyn Naomi is a really great singer who moved here a little while ago. It's other cats, Singing Tony, Innocent, like all these icons of the reggae community.
Right.
I decided we need to make this a community thing, and the basic message was really like, hey, this trial can go either way, but no matter what happens, we're gonna have to keep pushing. This is not the beginning or ending of anything. He might get off. They might put him under the jail. But either way, the fight for justice and equality is going to keep moving. So we have to be vigilant. We have to be ready to use our voice and our hearts and our minds to fight this thing. My friend Julius Collins, who used to sing with Greasy Meal, recently said to me, he said, fighting evil is a full-time gig. And truer words have never been spoken.
I know that's right. Brother,
man. Evil don't sleep.
It don't sleep. It don't sleep. Man, you're an awesome guest, man. And I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but we definitely were all the way live. Dig it, man. You know what time it is. Michael Bland, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on to my show, man. I appreciate you taking the time, bro. It means a lot to me.
Jeff, it means a lot for you to ask me. I'll come anytime you call, man.
Man, I appreciate that.
There's a lot of other stuff to talk about, and I'm not afraid to tackle the harder issues. I mean, you can ask me anything, Jeffrey.
I know it. You know what? I'm gonna get you. I'm hopeful we can get in the studio here in the future, man. Get back to making some records and seeing you live, doing what you do naturally, man. That's what I'm rooting for. And in the meantime, I'm here to support you. If there's anything I can do, you let me know how I can help.
Well, God bless you, man. I know you mean it. I can feel the sincerity in your words.
Yes, sir. Without question, man. Without question. Family, man. Let's be that, all right? Vines and branches,
Absolutely.
my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time. A little applause for Michael Bland. Thank you, Michael. Bless up. One love. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the incredible Michael Bland, and he is an awesome guy, man. I'm so grateful to have him on my show. And before I go, I just want to take a moment and let you know that you can enter to win this set of Olo headphones that I'm always rocking in the videos. They're like handcrafted, and they're made way off in Uruguay or some way off in chiseled into a corner of a mountain. It's a long story, but they make them themselves. It's pretty sweet. Check this out. You can also reach me on social media. I'm at the Madjef Show on Facebook, and then Instagram, Madjef Music, and Madjef Music on Twitter. I'm trying to grow my Twitter. It's tiny. You know what? I did some sample CDs and some producer packs that are available online, digital download. They're cheap too, like $8, $6, $7 for the whole thing, man. You can be cutting beats together in your studio or teaching somebody you love to do the thing themselves. I'm also an author. I've written some books because I want to help people try to understand a little bit about what I know, and that is I know a little bit about music for love or for money. And I know about music business, et cetera, even esports, because I'm into that, as well as I produce a bunch of content for ESPN and so forth. Anyway, guess what? My next guest is Bryce Najjar. This is a friend of mine from Paris. He's an author who has written 2 books on Michael Jackson. His current one out is Book on the Dance Floor. And this guy he's a legit Parisian who I just hope you understand what he's saying while he speaks. But he's my homie. And I'm going to have him on the show very soon. I'm taking this weekend off, though, because I got a little trip planned with my honey. We're going to go out and do something, together in the sand. Anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks. I appreciate y'all. I got to go. Again, this is fire. Scooch up against the wall. Slide out sideways. Watch your hair, girl. Watch your hair. Peace.